Let's party to the rhythm of peanut butter and jam.
Hey dude, welcome to the podcast. I've never done like a PB&J session like ever, like IRL. This is like the first time I'm ever talking to somebody in person.
Well, happy to be your first guest.
Hey, when you say happy to be your first, so yes sir. So please introduce yourself and what do you do?
For sure. So my name's Sam. I do BD and partnerships at Sophon. Sophon is a consumer/entertainment-based chain. So we focus on like any consumer applications like social, gaming, gambling, AI. And we also are doing a very big push on ZKTLS. So very fitting for this
Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you guys decide to go down that consumer line? Like when you have DeFi, you have all these other like genres that are there already. Why consumer apps?
I just think it's the next step of the revolution of crypto. I think when you look at the initial start of it, it's very DeFi focused. People started to launch coins, and then you had to like DeFi primitives, and now we're moving into stable coins. And in order to maybe onboard like the next masses on the next stage of people, we're looking for the everyday users, the consumers, the non-crypto native people who aren't looking for high yield opportunities. They just want to play around, maybe use crypto rails in their everyday social applications to maybe enhance their experience.
Do you feel like people actually like give a shit about if it's crypto or not? What do you think the selling point is to somebody who's in Web2? Like, because if you go to somebody right now and maybe say, hey, it's gasless, it's abstracted, like for a normal, like for like a normal person, that doesn't mean a lot. Like they would be like, hey, why should I give a shit about this? So why do you think?
To answer your question, no, I don't think they give a shit at all. But I think there's fundamentals in crypto that can really enhance a user experience.
The narrative.
Not just the narrative, but the technology behind it. ZKTLS is like a whole subject on itself, but no, the user doesn't care what the back end is. You would never look at a gaming application on the Apple Store and ask what it's made on. You would just use the application. If it's good, then you'll love it. And that's the same with what crypto can do. We can enhance experiences. You can have ZKTLS, users can verify stuff on chain without submitting personal data, which is obviously a big sort of meta right now and the push for the future. And yeah, the overall like enhance the experience. I think there's a saying or like I can't remember where I read it, but if you're trying to change the everyday behavior of consumer, the application needs to be at least 10 times better than what they're already using. People are lazy. People don't want to learn new things. People just want things at ease. So if you're trying to onboard users and suddenly you have to verify here or have a new login here or do a catchphrase here and there's too much friction, then it won't work. So if you can create like an application that's better, then people will use it. Otherwise, why would you change?
Yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. What do you think, like, is there like an application right now on Sophon that people are like very hardly using? Like,
we have a lot coming up. We have something called the Sophon Home and Sophon Plus. So right now in crypto, you have different chains, L1s, L2s, and there's a lot of fragmentation. You'll have Base, for example, millions and millions of users, hundreds of millions of TVL or billions of TVL, but it's not all in one place. We speak to applications all the time, building, and they often want to go to Base or they favor Base or they start with Base because the users are there. But just because the users are currently using Base doesn't mean that you can plug into it. Your application needs to be successful. Your application needs to have sort of its own core support group in order to grow. And with Sophon Home, the main thing we're trying to create here is eliminate fragmentation. You can have everything in one place. You would never ever go to base.com or solana.syz or any of that, but you will go to sophon.syz and you will go into Sophon Home and you'll have your wallet there. You will have your badges, you'll have some ZKTLS, you'll have the bridges, you'll have all the applications in one place, and you'll also have Sophon Plus. And Sophon Plus is like an in-app questing system for our users to give back to them. So we will push them to our ecosystem projects. We will give them incentives to play around on this application or interact with here or have a new stable coin, we'll allow them to opt into Sophon Plus and give data, and we'll reward them for that rather than just ticking a box, having no choice, and suddenly your data's sold to 500 places, you get random spam emails, and it's just the overall experience is awful.
What do you think it looks like for a builder that's pretty new and coming to the Sophon system? So when you say everything is going to be in-house on Sophon.xyz, what does it mean for like a developer or like a founder who's building on top of you guys? Like what's different from maybe building on base, like you said?
I think the overall support we give, we actually are a permission chain. So not everyone can deploy on Sophon. In the future, I think with volumes that would change, but right now we're permissioned, meaning you need to be whitelisted by the BD team or you need to be whitelisted by the developer team in order to even deploy your application. And that's because we want the best curated ecosystem within crypto. We want to expand and have like the best user experience for our consumers. So when we have people build on Sophon, we work with them in every aspect. Is that grant costs? Is that investment into seed rounds? Are we helping them with technical overviews? We'll have a Slack channel. Do they need help with marketing, tokenomics, go-to-market strategy, advisory, raising? Like we help our projects in every aspect of their journey, because if they're successful, we're successful. We're not going to say, here's a white labeled address, you can come deploy, see you later. Let's work with you. Let's find out your weaknesses, your strengths. Maybe you've got like a really good Web2 brand and you know that some crypto rails will help you enhance your experience, but you don't know what to do. Well, let's get the tech team on a call. Let's discuss it. Let's move forward with it and let's help you grow. Because like I said, when you succeed, we succeed.
Oh, I like it.
For
It's
sure.
pretty nice, man. So how do you like, okay, so you said that you guys are doing only whitelisting, but does that limit down on the marketing that you guys are doing, or like how do you guys go about it? Because everybody, like every chain, their only motto is, hey, we need to get as many dApps and like projects on top of us as possible. And this is completely different when you kind of look at that narrative, and versus your guys are like, hey, we only want the best. Like how does that look like in terms of marketing and getting projects on?
I think it's a great point. So you will see, I'm not going to say ecosystems, but you'll see ecosystem maps with 200 different applications. But if you really dive deep into it, it's probably like 2-3% of those applications bringing the activity, driving the TVL, having the monthly active users. So if you just done a couple more checks and like really looked into the team and understood, are they great builders? And you could probably up that number to 10, 15, 20%. I'm not going to say that every application on Sophon is going to be the best in its category and they're pioneers. But if you really work with teams and understand what they're building and do the checks, then you will have a much more curated ecosystem, which then will have like a ripple effect into the user experience. You see people getting exploited on different chains. You see all sorts of stuff. Like if it's permissionless and people can just get thrown on, a lot can go wrong. And I'm not saying we'll be permissioned forever, but as we start, it's different to Base having one exploit and they have 2,000 applications, or Sophon having an exploit and we have 30. So I mean, there's a couple percent of your whole ecosystem and you had an exploit. So you need to be more careful at the start. And we just want the best user experience. We're not just trying to bridge on like the next wave of consumers. Like we want to be the future. We want to be the front facing application. And that's why we have like, I speak with the COO kind of a lot. I work under him in the VD, and we talk about it all the time. We have like two like North Star metrics. The first one is like now we want on-chain users, we want crypto native users come play our applications, drive the transactions, have fun on our chain, and really come back every day, get their attention. But the North Star metric is to have users using Sophon and not even know they're using Sophon. So that's like the bigger enterprise deals. The heavy consumer focus. We have a great company called Open Ticketing, and they're putting over 25 million tickets on chain this year with Sophon. And that's not a bigger deal. It's not necessarily going to drive millions and millions of transactions a day, but they do the likes of the biggest football games in Europe. They have concerts, Oasis tickets. So they're very, very big in their field, probably like second to Ticketmaster, you could say. And we're bringing them all on chain with Sophon.
Oh, that's amazing, dude. Do these guys do like a reselling and stuff as well?
Yeah, so there will be like a secondary reselling market. It's very cool. Yeah, it's called Open Ticketing.
Open ticketing.
Yeah.
There's a synergy there with Reclaim also. Like
Exactly. So this is why we're so big on ZK TLS, and it's kind of more bullish on our founder than anything, because I remember when I first joined the company, sort of August, September last year, we had an offsite pretty intimate at that time, and he was really shilling ZKTLS. And at the time, I'd never heard of it. A few of the teammates hadn't really heard of it. I think maybe a couple of the dev guys have, but it was very, very new, not what you see today. And I think there's a lot more eyes on it. But we've been working on this for a while. We knew, it's like in the AI narrative, data is huge for AI. So suddenly if you can have like curated data that's actually needed, you can then you can enhance the AI so much. And the whole point of crypto is users have their own keys. If it's not your keys, it's not your password. If like you want to be in control, whereas at the moment you're not in control of your data. So suddenly if you can opt in and you can get rewarded for sharing data in a permissionless, zero knowledge way where you can share stuff, then I think that's the best scenario. Like we have loads of ideas. We want to do decentralized data pools. We want to plug it into Sophon Plus for people to prove. There's a real big use case with open ticketing. If they wanted to look at other like say if you were a user, you could prove that you've already bought tickets on Ticketmaster, and then you might get a discount on the next one. Like there's loads of ways to prove data in a permissionless way and reward the users. And users need to be rewarded. Otherwise, why would they change? Why on earth would a user buy a ticket on open ticketing for the same price as they would on Ticketmaster if there's no game? But suddenly if they're offering like a 5% discount, 10% discount to prove that you bought a previous ticket, and it's a game changer.
Gotcha. So, like, are you guys at Sophon trying to build like your own ZKTLS solution, or what are you guys kind of doing right now?
We want to do like the full 360. So yes, we will build our own solutions, but we also want to collaborate with the best, like yourself or Opacity, and really give the user the chance to plug in. So we want applications to build on Sophon that utilize ZKTLS. We in the future will use ZKTLS and our own technologies and our own sort of production. And then we will also have the likes of the best sort of ZKTLS partners deployed on Sophon, so it's at ease for everyone. And like I said, we're plugging it into Sophon Plus and Sophon Home, so it'll really resonate with our chain well. I think like metas come and go all the time, and it's very easy to follow a meta. So someone might start it and you could jump on really quick and you'll still reap some rewards, but the later you are in a new meta, the less upside there is. So it's more about like not taking a gamble, but thinking like, what is the next meta? What's really important? And we think it's data. Not only do we want to enhance user experiences, we want to prove that it can help anyone in our ecosystem and they can get rewarded for just using the Sophon ecosystem in a zero knowledge way.
When you first heard of ZKTLS, like what is the first use case that you thought of?
So when I first heard it, I didn't know what it was, but then I did some research, and the thing that stood out to me was more like the target marketing of some companies. So if you had a decentralized data pool, you could essentially have Nike come to you and they say, give me the information of a user aged between 18 to 25 who has brought Adidas trainers once, who could run a Strava 5K without giving away like
holy shit,
like possible information. And then suddenly like it's so targeted, like they're really appealing to the right person now.
It's a gold mine.
It's a
freaking gold mine.
Big gold mine because they're already using your competitor.
Yeah.
The same with open ticket, and there's so many use cases. Your passport information, credit card information, if you want to prove that you have a certain amount of money in your bank account, or you want to prove your social following, but you don't want to give away your security code, or you don't want to give away like your name, or you want to be doxxed. Like there's so many use cases that in a world of crypto can really like push people to the next limit, I think. And that was like the first use case we had. And then now we just brainstorm all the time. That like you should see our Slack sort of channel or Sophon is literally just like ZKTLS this, ZKTLS that, new idea here, new idea. We honestly have so many ideas. Like it just takes time to like put them into the market, but it's cool. And because it's so new, there's no roadmap. So it's literally just like,
it's like
the tip of an iceberg, what you can actually do with it. It's just, we need to sort of like narrow down and focus on what can we get to market now. And then we can spread out like a flower or like a butterfly.
Crazy, man. You know, there's somebody, like, we had a hackathon with Stocknet. So this guy, they got eliminated. So we did like a 5-day hackathon. But at AWS Hackathon, if you've noticed, people kind of fuck around the first few days and then grind at the last 2 days.
Yeah.
But here we had like a point-based system where we eliminated one team every day. And they had a chance to come back at the end, but it was like a wild card. There's no guarantee that you would win. But these guys got eliminated on the second day. But these guys came back. They won it all. What they were building is a data DAO. So users can come. They're incentivized with tokens / points or whatever rewards it is to kind of share their data. So if it's like their H&M data, their Nike data, any data that they share, and then these guys would then approach these companies back in the background, like they would approach Uber, like, hey Uber, like, do you want like DoorDash data of like users from the past 1 year? Like, we have it already. Like, man, that was amazing. Like,
I think the reason it will be so prominent in crypto as well is people are curious. So if you can suddenly give rewards or points or tokens just to be a little bit curious and opt in,
yeah,
it'll be a wildfire. People do it all the time. People farm airdrops there. They have no idea how big the airdrop's going to be. They'll farm these applications for 6 to 12 months just in the hopes they might get something. If suddenly you know what you're getting as soon as you opt in, like, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
It's literally like
everything is speculation in crypto.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why, and it's a speculative market right now. So why would you not opt in? Why would you not gain points? Why would you not sell your data essentially?
Absolutely. Something I've also noticed is like, even when you consider of VCs like investors, they kind of see what's long term and something that will give them rewards like at the moment itself. And I've seen only the things that have been able to do that is AI, stablecoins, and the next thing I think is going to be zk-TLS.
I agree. Well, even AI, like there was a massive boom, say from like November to maybe the start of March when we would like go into like a mini bear or the bear market. But I do think AI is like here to stay. I think the actual
100%
is very good. So I don't think that was like a meta that's going to change. But you saw like the people that were starting the virtuals, the people who were curious and building when it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
When they were building virtuals, not when it started in November, like probably years before that, trying to build this application. So like the curiosity does pay off. The want to like create and be in a new meta is the best. But then you see it, virtuals pops up. Then you have the next pop up, and then suddenly there's a million AI launch pads, and you're at the end of it, and the people are raising millions of dollars, but there's no launch pads sort of making money right now. I'm not saying it won't come back, but being at the start will
100%
benefit you. And we're a big believer in zk-TLS. Like, yes, we want to onboard the consumer, but we think if we use zk-TLS, the consumer will have a lot better experience on Sophon. And I don't think that's a debate. I think that's facts.
Yeah, it is facts. No, I mean, like, even if you look at right now, crypto, it's very hard to break that Web 2 kind of barrier. But with this tech, you can literally approach like open ticketing. Like, they're like a Web 2 platform. You can just approach them right now and be like, hey, you don't even have to pitch the word Web 3 or protocol to them. You can just be like, hey, like, here's a technology that'll kind of help you get access to.
I think the word Web 3, unless you're in a VC, like hinders you.
Yeah.
People get scared. Like,
let's
just say that we can prove data like in a zero knowledge way, and that's all we need to say. Let's not make it too complicated.
People, like, something that I've also seen, like, I've sold the technology for like 8 months now, and something that I've seen people do is like, probably like, even people who say they care about privacy, they don't give a shit.
No.
Like, and see, for me, that surprised me, because when I joined the company, the bio of like Reclaim Protocol was breaking the walled garden of the internet, verifiable cryptographic proofs of verified credentials. That was so much, like, the motto was so privacy preserving. Like, when I started to talk to people like that, they didn't give a shit. Their only question was, hey, can you get me this data? And that kind of surprised me, and I had to like change my pitch a lot of the times. And then from like, we had a verified credential company, it went to like, hey, like, we can help you get any data you want. Like, you're building like a LinkedIn competitor, we'll help you get LinkedIn data. Like, that was my pitch, and it always worked.
Data is the
new oil.
The new oil. It is the money of today for sure. But yeah, no, I'm definitely bullish on you guys. We love having you as a partner as well, and we just want to work with the best in the space.
Absolutely,
we're pioneering, and we'll
absolutely made. Yeah. And another thing is, like, I also think just in data itself, you have all these genres. I feel like user-owned data is also going to be pretty huge just because of this technology now.
For sure, and that's how you reward people.
Yep.
Why would you opt in to sharing the data unless you're rewarded? Like, at the moment in Web2, you don't really have an option.
You don't have an option. It's already shown.
Up to free Wi-Fi, and your email sold 1 million times over to 100 different scam accounts. So being able to now get rewarded for it is definitely the next thing. But you can implement this into Web2 applications. It's not just like crypto native Web3 applications. Like this is for everyone. And that's like the main sort of selling point. Like this isn't just crypto. Let's implement this on Web2 applications. I was even seeing like EarnFi do something very similar. There's a lot of games that are starting to do it. So the space is bigger than you think. It just is waiting to do like the big. What would you say is like the biggest use case right now for ZKTLS?
Okay, I'll tell you two things. I'll tell you like the biggest use case, plus I'll tell you a very interesting use case as well. So one is for lending. So in Web3, there's a lot of uncollateralized lending that's happening right now. So if somebody new to crypto that kind of comes, you onboard somebody right now and then they want to get some crypto. First of all, it's very difficult to kind of get crypto in hand. Second thing, if they want like a large amount of money to kind of buy something, like in the promise that it'll go up, it's kind of impossible to them because they have zero reputation.
Yeah.
Yep. So one very interesting use case that we're working with blockchains itself is like, you guys have the liquidity pools. You guys have all of this like liquidity there. Let's work with lenders and help them reach their Web2 reputation as well and kind of bring that also on chain. And then based on that, just based on that, now you can like, so even if you're somebody new, that kind of adds to it as well. So like I have been transacting millions of dollars back in my Web2 days. So like give me like a higher transaction limit or like, that's a very interesting use case that we've had.
What stops people like running away with the money though, or like because right now you have to be like over collateralized to lend. What would solve that for this use case? Or are we saying their credit score is like so high, like they're like a trustworthy person?
Yeah.
So that's why
it still wouldn't be like $1 million immediately.
Yeah.
It would just add to a reputation where they could like borrow and transact a small amount of money just so they get in the space. Okay. Because right now, if you look at email lending protocols, it's pretty hard to get. And another use case that I also kind of thought was amazing was these Web2 lenders, they don't have a lot of liquidity to lend.
No.
They don't have. So, and that's a problem that's always been there. So we've been talking to a lot of these companies in India, and their only problem is, hey, like we don't have the liquidity to kind of lend that big of an amount. And in Web3, we have a lot of liquidity as well. So one thing that I also thought was like connecting a blockchain with these folks, because Web3 provides the liquidity, and now these guys can tap into that kind of money there and then kind of use that as a yield. And I think that would give like at least an 8 to 9% yield, like, which is 2x of what people can earn right now in the market.
I would say a lot of the ZKTLS themes I think they're very DeFi focused. I would say we're just like tipping into the consumer and what can really be done. We've been speaking to a lot of like RWA collectibles sort of applications, and we were thinking like most of their audience is like ex Pokemon opening packs, and now they want to do it on chain, and there's like loads of things. But like, why don't we just do like a ZK proof that you've once brought like a Pokemon pack, and then we'll give you a free pack to come try it on someone else. Like they've obviously got the interest, but you just need the ZK technology to like pull that user in, like really enhance them and say like, come try this, it's really cool. Otherwise they might not find it. But if you can share a receipt or credit data or like a transaction that you have done it, then claim your free pack and come play. Like there's so many cool aspects you can do. And I think the DeFi stuff is more obvious in terms of proving like financial data. But I think if you really brainstorm the consumer stuff, that's like the cool bit for me. Obviously biased from a consumer chain, but I think that's
I get
really
it. See, personally, I would love to see like a dating app that's based on your Netflix watch history or like an Amazon even watch history. Cool. That'd be amazing, dude. Like even your food app history as well. Like if you're like a burger person or like a pizza person, dude, you get matched with like the right person that eats the same food as you.
Opt into your Deliveroo.
Yeah.
Deliveroo buys your receipts.
No, it's just a fun way of like meeting people.
It's true. Yeah, it is true, and it's way more. It stops the lying.
Yeah,
it stops the lying. So yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. You know,
we built it out as we have something like that live right now at vibematch.xyz. It's the same thing, like, but it's more for friends to kind of just vibe with each other who have the same Amazon watch history. So if you're somebody who watches like Modern Family, like we would meet and then we would be friends. So
and watch one of them.
Yeah, more.
The end goal. That's good.
Yeah, consumer apps, dude, it's insane the amount of things you can do. Imagine like a Mario Kart game that's fueled by your Strava data. So like, dude,
There's so many possibilities, honestly. I just talk for hours on different scenarios, but it's cool. And that's why we want to tap into it, because it's not just like, there's just endless possibilities that could be really cool. And you only need one like super good use case to be like very successful. So like, we want to help these companies enhance their experience. Really, like if you're creating a new Tinder application, like you're fighting against the biggest players in the market. So what is special about your application, and why is someone not going to go on Tinder anymore, but they're going to go on your one? Well, so if you use the TLS and you can prove that you have the same hobbies, then that's a good enough user experience to at least get people on board.
Yep.
Like there's loads of, or you could prove that you have Tinder Premium, so then you get a free premium aspect on this one for a month. But there's so many possibilities that can help these new startups compete against like the biggest sort of
100%
within the space.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's just like a losing battle from day one. Like it's very, very hard to break into these industries, especially the giants and the market share they have and the control they have over the consumers.
Even the mind share that they have. Just look at Uber, for example. Like, dude, if you build a competitor that's the exact same with better UI, even
But
people
Uber won't
just
change. No.
people still think Uber is the best. Like you,
Trusted as well.
yeah,
It's more about trust with those sort of applications. Like you need a very good like bottom layer of trust and security, which obviously you can improve with ZK. There was an application I was reading the other day. I can't remember what the name was, but it was about like carpool sharing and using ZK to prove your Uber score. So then you can like share it in people. So it just like it adds like another layer of safety to sort of implement it.
Dude, I'll tell you like a very good use case that we also had just because you said this. There's an app called Namayatri in India. So they have a shit ton of users, millions and millions of users, totally Web 2. And the fun fact is they only hire from Uber drivers.
Really?
They only hire if you've been an Uber driver or if somebody that's never been blacklisted by Uber. So how can they do that? Like the process right now before they met us was they had to like screen through the process, like see what's happening. Like, are they actually like an Uber? They would conduct like a liveliness check.
Yeah.
Man, that's hell. But with us, we literally came to them one day and was like, hey, we can like let the drivers prove that like they have been in Uber, right? And they're not like they're Uber driver and they're not like a blacklisted person. So they're like, what the fuck?
Saves
So
time and money and resources. Yeah. No, it's limitless.
Yeah, they're one of the best in India also, because in India, something that I've noticed, even like at least in Bangalore, where Namayatri is the most, is Uber prices are too high and people cancel the ride. Like the auto drivers, they're fucked up. So they'll see that the prices like they overcharge a lot. So if a normal fare is like $5, they would say that it's $10. So if they see the $5 thing, they would cut it, and then they would still come and then be like, "Hey, we'll drop you for $10." And so Namayatri is like more permissioned, very high quality kind of drivers. It's people are like loving.
Yeah, for sure. Enhance the user experience is the main goal at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%, man. But crazy, dude. Just apart from the podcast, dude, what other ZK solutions have you been talking to?
In terms of like,
just in general,
providers. Speak to Opacity a lot. We actually have a group chat called ZK TLS Mafia.
Yeah, I'm a part of it.
All the ZK TLS builders in the space. Like, we want to pioneer the space, but there's enough room for loads of people to use the technology and grow. Like, it's not Sophon or nothing. We just want to be like one of the top providers. We want to push it out. We want to see use cases. The DA side of it is really cool. You can use Avail. You could use Aegon. Like, there's loads of different providers. Not saying any are better than each other, but like, there's the market is so small compared to what it could be. Like, we're still very early, so we just want to grow. We created the group chat to really just have like the best minds in the space, earliest minds in the space, just to bounce off each other. Like, your competitors will be in there, but doesn't mean you can't talk to each other.
Yeah, we fight all the time.
And you see people like, I see it every day. People will put in blog posts and then people will argue on that blog post and it'll be like a little rant between two different companies, but like, it's healthy. We're talking about like new solutions and how we can build it. And when you look from the outside in, it's actually like a great space to grow. And like the founder created the group chat just on the idea of, we're not the most knowledgeable in the space right now. We love and we probably explored 5% of it, but we want to learn. So let's get the best brains in one space. Let's prove that we're really pushing into the space,
100%.
and then let's grow. I think it's worked. It's always popping up in a group chat.
Oh, dude, the tech, just the tech itself, like I'm pretty sure you know, like in terms of engineering, this technology is so fucking good. Like it feels like you're working on bleeding edge. Like you see us personally, we spend $2.5 million a year just on engineers. Like our team is 30 engineers, and that's how we made our tech so good. So like a BD position would be just me and maybe just one of the guys on the group.
And also, you didn't start building this 2 months ago. You've been building this for years on. So like, you need to think early to be the best. It's just like another use case of we want to be the first in this narrative. We're not saying we're the first already, but we really want to push hard.
100%.
We really want to. When people think ZKTLS or they think consumer ZKTLS, they also think Sophon in the same sentence. And when that happens,
it is right. I think right now you guys are the ZKTLS blockchain, like hands down the ZKTLS.
It's good to have some feedback. We want to get.
I got you, man.
No, we want to get better. There's still a long way to go, and like we're not the only chain doing it, but if we can provide cool use cases and implement Sophon Plus and really enhance user experience and give back to our node holders and our diehard community members, then that will speak volumes for itself, because a happy community makes a successful company.
100%. Who else is doing it? Layer Edge. I think they're also doing something with ZK.
I think in terms of like the chain initiative.
Some water too.
Yeah, so in terms of the chain initiative, we're leading, I would say, but you also have a lot of applications that just like build on Base or they build on Solana because the users are there already. So like inherently they will get ZKTLS products, and when they see how good it is, they can obviously do the push as well. But like from a leadership level down in our company, like we are pushing this hard. We talk about it a lot. There's a dev guy who works for Sophon, and he is unreal. He's like so knowledgeable on ZKTLS. In fact, the whole like engineering dev team are really good on it as well. And it's us like BD guys that are trying to learn it as fast as we can.
Dude, you cannot be non-technical even if you're a BD in the space. Like, it's impossible. You have to dive deep into the tech, and I learned that pretty late. Like I had to like dive down. But yeah, man, it's amazing. You feel so good.
It is good. It is good, and there's a lot more to learn. And also, there's not that much research on it yet. This is still there's a little bit, but there's not like unlimited research. So you need to kind of trial and error, find out if you're 100% of people you have these core ideas, like in our group chat, and that's how we found like we've grown. I think we've gone up levels in the last like 1 to 2 quarters in terms of our knowledge, just by like speaking to and not trying to research and like find stuff on the internet. Actually speaking to people who lived this stuff, who've been creating the product for 2 years, people who like know everything about it so far, and that's the way to learn.
Absolutely, man. Dude, there are a lot of good people in the space as well. See, so if you look at just even in terms of like ZK Pass, Wheeler, like all these folks out there, like everybody's opinionated. Like they think that's how you know people are the best in the space. Like they think their tech is the best. So if you go on Twitter right now, you'll see me fight with Hirsch a lot, just based on the architecture and everything as well. And to be very fair, I respect that man, because he's standing for what he's building. Like he genuinely believes it's the best, and that's how you should be building it as well. Which you guys.
If you don't believe in what you're building, then it's failed before it started. That's what's so good about the team. Everyone believes in the vision. Everyone's so like hyper focused on where we want to go. Everyone knows exactly what the next steps are, and that's kind of like why we're building very well. We want to build in public. And the ZK passing, I think passports is like a huge thing within ZKTLS. Like how we don't have like digital passports already is crazy. Yeah. So like being able to prove your identity on your phone via a ZK proof is just like, I can't believe that's not already done.
We are working on that with Humanity Protocol at the moment.
Yeah, we spoke to Humanity.
Yeah, we had a meeting with Terrence yesterday. We were talking about it to him. He's super down. We close the deal. It's just gonna be like,
you just need like then like government entities to like allow, believe or sort of accept the actual thing, and then it's game over. Then it can be
100%.
How you to prove it, but people still don't accept it. They don't understand it.
Trust levels aren't built up yet.
But that will come with time and new innovation and ease. And all you need is one government like the UAE, who are like pioneering within any space right now. for them to show we suddenly accept humanity's passport, then someone else would do it. There'll be like a ripple effect.
100%. I also think that's a barrier that we have to cross as Web3 in general. Because if see, just for example, like I saw like a recent product that came out called Deck. So they looking at their branding, it's amazing, dude. The way they've keyworded everything as well. It's the same as zkTLS. It's like they'll get you any data you want, they'll verify any data. But how they do it, they do it via scraping with an AI agent. So the AI agent logs on and does everything for you, but they marketed it so well that within the first day itself, like they got like an insane amount of queries from like Fortune 500 companies, which is insane, dude, because we've been building this thing like that's actually like built out for like a long time now, and still we haven't been able to cross that barrier like pretty easily. But I think having traditional VCs also invest in you is also a big
help.
Yeah.
I think I'm not really like very well connected in terms of what they're investing in right now. Do you see a lot more investment within zkTLS? Do you think it's definitely growing, or is it still like pretty early?
Anybody can raise a pre-seed round right now,
Yeah.
but a Series B or a Series A would be very difficult. I think that's the situation with the entire market right now, dude. Just very honestly, because see, I think they kind of look at two things. You could maybe sell something like a narrative or something. Like, imagine you do get like a 5 mil like pre-seed or something, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna pay everybody kind of get on chain with you, get use it technology, like hundreds of millions of verifications, getting like paying like somebody like Humanity Protocol like hundreds of thousands of dollars just for them, because they have the volume, just for them to kind of verify all of this. So we'll have all the numbers to kind of show. So you could do it like that and then be like, hey investors, I have like 500 million verifications already done by all these people, and I've worked with all of them. Imagine I put 5 cents per verification on each of these. So what does that make me? You see how the narrative is being painted.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Proof of concept.
Yeah, you could do that, but dude, I don't agree with that kind of ethos. It is a capitalistic mindset, but I'm more, if you really like the tech, you know how this actually solves a problem.
Yeah.
Which is something that I'm bullish on. So I'm like, hey, like whatever it is, I feel like it is like it's gonna come.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely do.
And in the long run, it's not going to be about the proofs or the verification part. It's just going to be about the data extraction part.
Yeah.
Like how valuable, how much of a volume of data do you have, plus
the value of it, especially with AI as well.
Yeah.
But they're only scraping pretty invaluable data right now.
100%.
Tap into data that has never been used before.
Yeah.
It's just like, you think AI good right now, what's going to be like in 5 years?
So we all do incorporate enough, like day to day, like almost every time. Dude, I can't do a thing without asking ChatGPT.
Oh, I know.
Like, just to come to Dubai. Yeah. Just to come to Dubai, I was like, hey, dude, I'm like, I talk to it like it's my bro. I'm like, hey, bro, like, dude, I'm coming to Dubai. Can I actually carry my tripod in my bag, or should it be in the check-in? Like, bro, he talks to me like that. Also, like, bro, just do whatever, Habibi. I'm like, what the fuck? Habibi. Yeah. Dude, I showed my mom this and she was genuinely like, what the fuck? I showed my grandmother like ChatGPT, like me talking, like, the voice mode.
Yeah.
Oh my God, but she was mind blowing. She was like, who's that?
We're actually releasing a new partnership soon. I'm not going to say your name, but they're like very, very big.
Tell me off camera.
Oh yeah, off camera. They're very big in the Web 2 space. So like we have one of the devs at Sophon, I got him on a call with me. And he was like, they're honestly like within the Silicon Valley of Eastern European. Like these are the best AI devs in Web 2. But their demo was like, you speak to it. It's like a bro, you can call it. It could be PA, it could schedule meetings for you. It could create tokens for you. Like when I watched the demo, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And that's with data that is publicly available. Imagine when we start using zkTLS and people can opt in, it can only get better. But yeah. They'll be coming to Sophon soon. And we just want to make like the best user experience. So we want users to come to Sophon home and there's no reason to leave. All your applications are there, your wallet's there, the AI PA will help you there. You can then go on to Sophon Plus, which is also like, you just need to be in one place rather than going to base, then bridge in here, then go into, but just if you eliminate the friction, suddenly users will stay on your application for way longer. And that is the main thing. For sure.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. And I feel like a lot of people are building out their own security solutions right now. I feel like people are using it to get their investments as well. Like,
So
yeah, some of them have come to us and be like, "Hey, can we interview you guys?" Like, there's a use case, but even I felt like sometimes, oh, is this like a forfeit? Because I'm not the kind of guy that would be like, "Hey, dude, just fit it in somehow."
yeah,
Yeah, I also want to look at the user experience because at the end of it, it's all going to be tied down to us.
that's the main thing. Like we speak to a lot of gaming applications, obviously we're consumer, and the COO.
Are these so sorry to cut you off? Are these native Web3 or like Web2?
So that's the thing. So the COO used to head up like the gaming vertical at Avalanche, and previously he worked at like EA, and so he's a very knowledgeable in gaming. Obviously, we have Beam and Merit Circle like advising us as well, so that we have a strong gaming community, and the amount of people that have a Web2 application but try push too many Web3 features in it just to get investment is crazy. And like you don't need to make a Web2 gaming application Web3 just for money. Like have the best user experience on Web2. If you want to implement NFTs, if you want to have like a trading market, fine, have little bits and use crypto rails to enhance it. But like, why on earth would a game be fully on chain? There's no need for it to be fully on chain.
Yep.
Like, let's not reinvent the wheel here. Let's just enhance it. And that's like the main thing. Because like the funding is obviously really high. So these gaming studios are asking for like millions and millions of dollars, but obviously it costs a lot to make. But then the timeline's like 2027 or like Q4 2026 when we get an alpha. Can't give $2 million for free, but a couple of years away, like 18 months, can we? It's crazy stuff.
It's crazy stuff, dude.
For sure.
Fuck, dude, how long has it been?
I don't know.
Wait. It's been 41 minutes, dude. I think we talked a lot.
I think it was a good podcast. I enjoyed it.
Dude, I enjoyed it as well, man.